are you sleeping now? What's going to happen now?
I'm sleeping better now because I did everything I could for the alternative.
That's true. Yeah.
But I also think it's important for everybody to just take a deep breath and say, unlike in 2016, there was no outside influence like the FBI director interfering at the last moment in violation of 70 years of policy. And it changed 5% overnight. In my lifetime, I've never seen a poll change 5% overnight. So anybody that says that he didn't give Trump the election, needs to
think about it again.
Yeah. But this time, Donald Trump won the race fair and square, I think.
What do you mean you think?
Well, I mean,
you promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
We're the only country that has it. Do you know, if somebody sets a foot, just a foot, 1 foot, you don't need two, on our land, congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Through executive action?
Well, if we can, through executive action. I was going to do it through executive action.
So we all know America stands at a crossroads, from economic challenges to cultural shifts and global competition. Our country is facing an era of unprecedented change. Many are asking the same question: how do we reclaim the promise of the American dream? We'll discuss today how President Trump and J.D. Vance plan to make America great again, and how the vision seeks to restore prosperity, security, and unity for all Americans. To understand the plan for America's future, we first have to look back at Trump's presidency. In 2016, Trump campaigned on a platform putting America first, and during his 4 years in office...
I mean, I'm not like him. I have to have proof, some evidence to make a charge. So as far as I know, he won it. And there are a lot of reasons why.
Yeah.
And look, I grew up in Trump country. And my native state, Arkansas, moved as far to the right from 2008 through 2016 as any country, any state in the country. And they had these great little, the Trump people had these great little Facebook clubs that had answers to what all our friends were saying to them in the campaigns. So these are hard-fought campaigns, and the people on both sides care a lot about politics.
You never know what to expect at the 92nd Street Y. I'll wait a second to continue.
We saw major policy changes that reflected on this promise, including things like economic growth. We all know that Trump inherited a huge economy, recovering from the 2008 financial crisis, and supercharged it. Tax cuts, deregulation, and pro-business policies led to record low unemployment rates and wage growth for the working class Americans. His administration brought back thousands of manufacturing jobs by renegotiating trade deals like NAFTA, a deal hailed as fair to American workers. Energy independence. Under Trump, the U.S. became energy independent for the first time in decades. By boosting domestic oil and natural gas production, the U.S. reduced reliance on foreign energy sources and kept gas prices low for consumers. We all remember back in the day when Trump was in office, gas was so cheap, probably $1.75 per gallon. Compared to when President Biden was in office, he still is in office, by the way, it's around $3 and $4 when I'm at. Basically triple and quadruple the price of when President Trump was in office. And that's because Democrats are right now in charge, but not for long, because we got President Trump.
There's a lot more of this going on in rural America than you may think. where people are very discussing these issues in a very sophisticated way, and why they look at it the way they do. So I think what we have to do is to observe a peaceful transfer of power, stand up for what we believe, and work together when we can.
Absolutely.
I do not think we should just be jamming them, even though
We don't know.
they do that to us a lot. I think it's a mistake.
No, it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
Plus, with immigration reform, Trump's border wall and stricter immigration enforcement policies aim to secure America's borders, protect the jobs for citizens, and curb illegal immigration. His America First approach resonated with millions who felt left behind by globalization. Trump even said that we're not even going to be let the failed policies of the past dictate our future.
Well, John, Christopher Wray, the FBI director, is making this announcement right now in an all-staff town hall with thousands of FBI employees across the country. He says now is his time to go. As you mentioned, he has a 10-year term. All FBI directors do. He was 7 years into his 10-year term, and realistically, he had two options. Wait to be fired by President-elect Donald Trump because Trump announced Kash Patel would take over, or bow out before. He has chosen to bow out before. Wray is a...
Trump always puts American workers, families, and values first. We know that. And with the help of J.D. Vance, well, it's a pretty good vice president to choose from. Much better than the scam artist Mike Pence that nobody wants to talk about anymore. We all know how what Mike Pence did. He could have totally fixed the election for President Trump, but instead, he gave in to the Democrats and was bought out. Now, J.D. Trump is a name you might recognize from his best-selling memoir. You know, Vance did have a troubled childhood, but he also graduated from Yale Law and is a U.S. Senator. What makes him stand out is an unwavering commitment to protecting the American middle class and restore dignity to struggling communities. Trump and Vance actually saw firsthand how the elites in Washington and Silicon Valley have neglected the hardworking Americans. It's time for the policies that actually help families and bring opportunity back to communities. Now, J.D. Vance's approach is grounded in addressing the root causes of issues like economic stagnation, the opioid crisis, and cultural decay. His focus on rebuilding small-town America complements Trump's vision of an America First agenda.
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorious.
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not
Knock,
misogyny,
knock.
sexism.
Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
Now, what does Trump and the Vance alliance mean for the future of the United States? We all know that their economic revival for the working class is coming, and it's coming big time. Both Trump and Vance understand that a strong economy starts with a strong middle class. Their plan includes continuing to renegotiate trade deals and to ensure that benefit American workers, bringing jobs out of Europe, bringing jobs out of Asia, and bringing it back to America. We gotta stop buying from China, stop buying from other countries, and start producing our own goods, like how China's doing in their own country. Now, America can do this, but only with one president, and that's President Trump. He also has to incentivize companies to bring back manufacturing jobs in the United States. You know, if companies like Home Depot, Lowe's, and other companies like that are going to work outside of the United States and try to make money outside of the United States, like in Mexico and Canada, well, they're going to be tariffed. That's what Trump said. He's going to put tariffs on them. For straight from his mouth, Trump will put tariffs and he'll become the tariff king. He's incentivizing companies to bring jobs back to the United States. It's time for this to happen. And investing in training and apprenticeships to prepare workers for the high-demand industries like tech and renewable energy. You know, under Trump, manufacturing saw its first real growth in decades. With Vance's approach on revitalizing small towns, this momentum can continue. Plus, immigration is another pillar of their agenda. Trump has made it clear that border security is non-negotiable.
As president, a majority of Americans, 54%, say they expect him to do a good job as president. And we asked specifically, do you have confidence in all of these areas about how Trump will perform and his ability to handle it? And once again, as we saw throughout the campaign, the economy is issue number one of his strength. 65%, 2/3 of Americans in this poll say they have some or a lot of confidence in Trump's ability to manage and handle the economy as president. And you see Russia, Ukraine followed there, then immigration, and his leadership skills, his what he intends to use his power for, whether that'll be responsibly not, a bit lower. But again, all of this is majority support. So that is where things stand right now.
So I hope that you all feel that sense of, peace and light, and that just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
Issues.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So you.
Don't worry about that. I'm from San Francisco. I'm used to this.
We have an opportunity for the audience to ask questions, so we'll wait till the end of our conversation to do that.
See, they'll get what they want because all the press will say is that we got interrupted.
All right, so
what do you hope to talk to Senator Collins about today? What do you hope to talk to Senator Collins about today?
This is how we're feeling today, right here. Feeling great.
Do you feel confident that you're going to get to a confirmation process, get to the hearing?
And Vance has echoed these sentiments, advocating for stricter immigration policies to protect American workers from wage suppression caused by illegal immigration. Trump and Vance both said that we need to stop the flow of illegal drugs coming across the southern border because it's killing thousands of Americans every year. And it's true. Together, they're committed to finishing the wall, the southern border wall, that the Democrats and Joe Biden actually tore down. That's so ridiculous, right? Now, he's also trying to ban the cartels and trying to restore American values. Put America first, Trump and Vance, that's what they're doing. They share a commitment to restoring traditional American values, family, faith, and community. They believe these values are the foundation of a strong nation. They will not let the radical ideologies take over schools. They want children to learn patriotism, respect, and the greatness of America. Plus, Vance is also rich. He's friends with Elon Musk and Vivek, both billionaires in their own rights, and together, these rich, wealthy elites will help make America great again. Vance also spoke about the importance of strengthening families by creating policies that support working parents and expanding the child tax credits. But one of the most devastating crises facing America today is the opioid epidemic. Vance has been outspoken about its impact on his home state of Ohio and the need for urgent action. He said the crisis has destroyed families and communities, and that they need tougher penalties for drug dealers and more resources for prevention and treatment.
Hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable, they don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states.
And with Trump's history of declaring the opioid crisis a national emergency, this connection will make America great again. Plus, they want to strengthen national defense and sovereignty. You know, in a world of rising global tensions in Iran, Syria, Ukraine, it might seem like these wars have been going on forever, and it's true. It's been going on forever during this whole time with President Biden in office. But not anymore, because everything comes to a stop at Trump. Trump makes everything better again. Rebuilding the military, maintaining technological security, and ending endless wars while protecting strength across people and countries like Russia and China. Prioritizing America's interests in all foreign policy decisions, putting America first. That's what Trump did. He did speak about NATO's contribution, and he said that we are the world's piggy bank and every country needs to pull its weight. Trump did say this, everybody, and Trump is ready to make America great again. Trump is ready to make America first in the whole entire world. But first, let's not get us confused. Of course, no plan is without its critics. Opponents argue that Trump's policies benefit the wealthy more than the working class. They say that Trump is helping his billionaire friends and making America great again, and only wants to help his billionaire friends and not the American people. Well, I just want to say that's a fat-out lie. That's the fattest lie I've ever heard. Because Trump never has done that, and in fact, it's been Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton making those things happen, helping their wealthy Democratic elites, not the other way around. Both Trump and Vance have countered these criticisms by pointing to the tangible benefits that our policies have already delivered.